Okay.
Hey folks, you're listening to Beyond the Songs with Blue Water Highway, where we play an original song and then we cover a song that is related to it or inspired it. You made the news last night. My mother called all worried. We both wear a mask, you and I. But your song and dances are different than mine. Standing in the dark with a light on your face. Irony laughs at the clown on the stage. Funny man, funny man. Funny man, funny man. Always a joke with you. But what goes on under the smiling? At least I've got a song, and even if that went wrong, I'd go somewhere for a laugh. Funny man, funny man. Funny man, funny man. Funny man, funny man. Funny man, funny man. You made us smile last night. You did the one about poets. But I had to fight not to look in your eyes, 'cause something inside was calling, saying, hold on, I'm just improvising it all. One day I'll slip and the curtain will fall. You can all make your own way out. The comedy's over now. Funny man, funny man. Funny man, funny man. Funny man, funny man. Funny man, funny man. That was Funny Man, the 10th track off our new album, Paper Airplanes. Show them, Greg.
Nice promo.
Yes,
nice promo.
indeed. Make sure you got one of those there CDs. One of them there CDs. Funny Man. Not a funny song.
You talking about Kyle?
Yeah, right.
There's
This
nothing
song
funny
about
about me.
Kyle.
Funny looking,
No.
maybe.
Funny looking. No,
Yeah.
funny man.
This song, I have to say, Zach wrote it, and from my perspective, we used to teach it at a music studio, and me, Zach, and Greg all used to teach there, and he was like, hey, come listen to the song I just wrote in the middle of my teaching day, and he plays it for me, and I was bawling my eyes out by the end of the song, of course. Even still to this day, it gets me, and I'm like, how dare you do that to me at work?
Yes. So I wrote this. I wrote this song just a few days after Robin Williams died, and I know, especially for people of our generation who kind of grew up, that was our guy. He was our comedian, you know. Everybody has theirs from their own generation, but that really affected me in a pretty big way. Especially the circumstances surrounding it, you know, being a suicide and him, you know, being, I don't know, all that stuff thrown in there, depression or whatever he was going through, disease that he was going through. I mean, it was awful. So seeing that, and the first thing I thought of was kind of that age-old dilemma of, you know, the comedian who's really sad inside, but he makes people happy. So it's like the ultimate irony, right? Mm-hmm. The irony laughs at the clown on the stage. You know, that's the idea. And I definitely found some parallels to, you know, just showbiz parallels. It's like, you know, you're there
On the stage performing.
Yeah, performing and kind of all that. Yeah, and I do remember. I mean, that song is pretty true to life. I mean, my mom did call me, you know, hey, just making sure everything's okay. I was like, you know, it was awful, you know. And so I kind of drew from mine and Catherine's experience in opera. I know we kind of come back to that and talk about that often, but
that song especially, yeah.
Yeah, so that's big time inspired by Pagliacci, the crying clown opera. You know, you've seen it parodied if you're not familiar with the title. You've heard it. There's this song Vesti la Giubba where this famous tenor aria, you can just, you know, see Pavarotti or Placido Domingo painting their face, you know, this giant clown, and he's crying. And at the end of the opera, he kills like some main characters, and he yells at it's really powerful.
He
You've never seen the
opera. Kind of mad.
Yeah, he goes berserk and he says the comedy's over, everybody go home, and that's how it ends. And it's actually pretty powerful because they stop the opera that way. Like, he kills him and says, "All right, it's over, go home," and it's really jarring. So it's a masterpiece, you know, of opera, really. Yeah. So
it's cool that this song ties in. It ties in that both thematically and musically, you know, to the story of Robin Williams.
Yeah. So those are the lyrics at the end of the song, like the comedy's over, and then it's musically those themes are in there from Leon Cavallo. Is that the composer?
And I think this song you do a really good job of I think we talked about this in another episode, but one of the things that classical composers do, especially the really good ones, is like they write a melody in the way that conveys what they're saying in the text, and it's like, you know, that relentless funny man at the end. It's like, you know, the pain and the, like, you know, be funny, you know.
Yeah. I was kind of worried about that. I mean, hopefully it's not too annoying, but if it is, it may be, you know, that's kind of supposed to be that way. It's just like,
yeah,
stop it already. But it's definitely a heavy song. We have a few heavy songs in our catalog that are just like, well, there's no real getting around it.
Yeah.
This song's about some of the saddest stuff there is. But
yeah, and I think a lot of people always ask about this song. Like, I've gotten comments on social media about it and things. So anyway, now everyone out there,
a couple sleuths saying, is this about Robin Williams?
Yeah, right. Some of you guessed, which was pretty impressive. There's some Easter eggs in there. I think we put Dead Poet Society. There's a lyrical allusion to it. That might be the only one that tips it off, but it works. You know.
Yeah, we put "You Never Have a Friend Like Me" just all the way in the mix the whole time.
Yeah, right.
Turned all the way down.
Just quiet enough.
Yeah.
It's good that we keep Kyle around here for a little levity. Yes,
that's right.
Right. There's the genie appears.
You know, it's interesting. The first thing you were talking about, getting into this about comedians. I used to listen to a lot of Mark Maron, who's a comedian, and he has tons of comedians on, and that is like, it's it's more the rule than the exception.
Yeah,
that,
right.
That comedians actually struggle with depression, and it's not always the same stuff, but just some sort of issues that we'll just say are not funny things, which is ironic to what their craft is.
Absolutely.
And so when it's just something that gave me perspective when I realized that. Anytime you watch a comedian or even just any funny movie, like, these people are hilarious, whoever it
They're
is.
people too, yeah.
But they're people too, and every different problem has a different solution sometimes, but yeah, it's just interesting to think about, because you never think about those people, and then you expanding it to entertainers is interesting too.
Well, and I thought, it's in the lyrics, but like, where do you go, musicians really bummed out, I'm just gonna throw on a comedy, and I'm sure comedians do that too, but in context it's sort of like, where are you gonna go what are you gonna do for a laugh? Like, what does a comedian go to
right.
So
Right.
I was going to say, to change it the subject a little bit, to the singing aspect of this song. This one, I think, is a really good example of, like, having, like, the way that we choose the same vowels, or, like, have to.
Yeah.
It's such a specific rhythm in places that it was, like, really important to, like, line up, like, consonants really closely and vowel shapes and all those kind of things, because the harmonies are so. It's just a different way of singing too. It's just,
And Catherine, not to, I know you're not taking it for granted, dear listener, but she is a master of harmonies and thinks about those. It sounds so good because she's thinking about how to match vowels and all that stuff. There's an art to it. She's really good at it. So, and we get a little operatic at the end. Not exactly.
But it's more virtuosic.
Yeah, it's dynamic. So it goes it's really soft and it gets really loud. Often like classical music gets. It's like wide range of dynamics. So,
A question, because I just never thought to ask it. Did you purposely put it in like a couple of those bars in 5, or did it come out that way?
Oh no, that was on purpose.
That was on purpose.
Yeah.
It was originally always in 5, and
we changed
decided
it.
to go back and forth.
The chorus was in 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that's, we don't really do a lot of that.
I don't think we do that at all. I was just trying to
maybe
think of a
the
song.
only song
I think
where
it's the only song we've ever
What we're
done.
talking about, for those who aren't music people, is a shifting in the
meter,
the meter,
the
but
beats.
the
Usually
song
it's
is a
like that.
waltz,
Yeah.
right? So it's 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 1, 2, 3, but the chorus is 1, 2, 3, 4,
4,
5, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is not. That's not something people dance to. It's usually 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But 5 is what do you call it? Odd.
Yeah.
It's an odd meter.
Yeah.
And it's funny, man. So something's off. That's the idea.
But sometimes, because there's there's plenty of songs out there that are in 5. It's not like we're the only ones. But sometimes the stories are like that's just how the melody came up, or sometimes people strive to make it.
It was intentional for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, this one was intentional.
Yeah.
But,
Interesting.
And this falls into the piano, piano folk, like wrote it on piano.
You actually played it on the album.
That's
even though
right.
I'm playing it in this video, but I think you played it on the album.
Yes, I think the producer said something like, "We need to dumb this down some more," which is
Zach,
actually
you
a
be the
tactic.
guy.
It's like, And I was like, "Well, I can do that. I'm your man. For that. I can play dumb piano." It's a simple part, and it sounded simple artfully, I suppose. That's why it worked. But anyways, it was influenced by a lot of those, piano singer-songwriters.
But vocally, I'd say there's one person that probably.
Yes,
Yeah.
Rufus Wainwright, and I found out about he's like a great singer-songwriter whose primary instrument is piano, and the first thing I ever heard from him was a song called Hallelujah, which I heard it in the early, I don't know, probably in the 90s. Definitely in the 90s. Probably the early 90s.
Oh, his cover of that?
Yeah, or just that song. You know how songs do. This was before it got covered. It became like one of the most
Nonstop,
covered
yeah.
songs in the world. But it started appearing in movies here and there and TV shows. Like I think I heard it on The West Wing maybe first, and I don't know if it was his. And then
Interesting.
You didn't watch The West Wing?
I did, but I would not
It is.
have
It's
expected
in there.
that song. To be
No,
there.
it's in there. It was in like some, sad part of the movie, and then famously appeared in
Shrek, right?
Shrek.
That's how I heard it. In fact, it's funny the way this is why I think covering songs is super important. So I heard that song in Shrek as well. It's like, oh, and I looked up the guy. It's like, okay, Rufus Wainwright wrote this song called Hallelujah. It's a really good tune. I really like it, right? And then I was talking to like my cousin about it, who's older than me, and she's like, no. It was written by this guy named Jeff Buckley. She didn't say that. but
He's the one who really wrote it.
So I got introduced to Jeff Buckley's version, which is incredible. And so, okay, he wrote that. And then I found out later it was Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
And then it just kept going down.
This was before Google.
Yeah, where you just like, okay, well, and then when I got all the way to the bottom of this guy named Leonard Cohen, it's like, okay, I mean, how much further are we gonna go?
Right.
Does it stop here?
Yeah.
You know,
So kids, before Google, you might find yourself
Believing lies.
right. Yes. Of course you don't do that now with Google. No. But that's how
banned from YouTube.
That's right. Don't ban us. So that's how Kyle and I both, not knowing each other, found ourselves. Were you in Hastings or a record store or some other place? I was in Hastings, rest in peace, looking for this song called Hallelujah. And I was like, oh, Jeff Buckley.
oh no, I was
It's-
pirating stuff
so-
off
no,
the
no,
internet
oh.
probably at home.
No, this is before the Pirates. This is before Pirates.
Yeah.
It's before any of that. I was probably like 6 years old walking in Hastings, like, well, I was older than that. It's like 10. Looking through all the CDs. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. I was like, this is great, but it's not the one I heard on TV.
Mhm.
So the search continued for a few more years.
Oh.
Isn't that crazy? That's how things used to work. And I finally found Rufus Wainwright. Well, it's in the movie. And anyways, it's a super powerful recording. It's just him and piano by itself.
So we thought that, of course, since everyone and their mother has covered this song, we thought,
It just goes for a full circle at some point.
Right.
Yeah.
Once it's overly covered, you just circle right back around and it's new again.
We're not too cool to cover an overly covered song, because here's the deal, folks. It's just that good. It's one of the best songs. In my opinion, it's one of the best songs ever written. And Leonard Cohen is actually the person
he is
that wrote
actually the
song.
one who wrote it.
Not my favorite version,
No.
but it's still cool. In fact, I think our version kind of takes a little page from his.
I kind of like the album though,
weird
in a
way.
strange way though. There's a song on there called like Dance Till the
Dance Me to
The
the End of Love.
Love of-
Yeah.
Is that on that album?
It's on
I
there.
didn't know that.
And just more
The
to
Civil
this
Wars
point, the
covered
Civil
that
Wars
song.
covered that. So if you
They
thought
did.
that was a Civil Wars tune, Leonard Cohen.
That's right. Leonard Cohen, one of the greatest songwriters of the 20th century for sure. But he wrote the song. I think the first. I brought this up to the guys earlier. So I think the first line of this song is one of the best lyrics plus music, kind of lines in any song ever, because it's. I heard there was a secret chord that David played. It pleased the Lord. You don't really care for music, do you? And then he goes into, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah. So he's describing the Roman numeral chords that you're,
chord?
that
you're
you're.
5 chord. You go
That's
to a
right.
minor chord and then you go to a major.
Yes, indeed. And you could think that's a little bit
Nerdy.
cheeky. I don't know,
I think it's awesome.
but it works because it fits the story, because it's David playing the song for the king, and it's also kind of hip because it's like, well, he didn't have chords on his little
Harp thing.
lyre, harp, lute
lyre.
thing, whatever he's doing. So yeah, it's super cool song. It's just great. So we did our own version of it. Hope you enjoy it.
And we had to choose which verses to include and not to include.
There are many.
Yeah.
How many are there? Do you know?
That's what Greg asked.
Yeah. It's
We were
like, how
practicing.
many verses are there to
I-
this song?
Actually, in Greg fashion,
I mean,
he's like, so are we doing this many verses?
Yeah, I mean, I was like, I used to cover this. I think I used to cover this song in high school, but I didn't remember how many. I mean, how many verses there were.
There's a lot of songs.
It
Like
was a question in the
I
form
don't
of a
know.
statement. It was like,
really
let's
doing
not-
all
Let's
these?
trim this down a little
Let's
bit.
trim this down.
like Amazing Grace have like 30 verses. Too.
Yeah,
There's like
yeah.
so many songs that are like that.
You
That
just pick the highlights.
you just picks the highlights. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
So I hope we did that. If your verse got left out, I'm really sorry.
We also did it kind of as a duet. He sings the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to sing the end.
All right.
We'll see how that goes.
See how that
We'll
goes.
see how that goes.
We thought we would, like you said, full circle. So to be really cool, we're going to cover an overly covered song. and also do a key change.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Super
Yeah.
Which is the coolest thing you can do, right?
that's right.
Not really. But I think it sounds good. And we love this song, unashamedly. It's amazing. It's one of the most beautiful songs ever. So, anyways, there it is. There ain't no more.
Enjoy.
Peace.
Hopefully.
I've heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do ya? It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty and the moonlight overthrew you. She tied you to a kitchen chair, she broke your throne, she cut your hair, and from your lips she drew the hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Maybe I've been here before. I know this room, I've walked this floor. I used to live alone before I knew you. I've seen your flag on the marble arch. Love is not a victory march, it's a code and it's a broken hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Maybe there's a God above, but all I ever learned from love is how to shoot at someone who outdrew you. It's not a cry you can hear at night. It's not somebody who's seen the light. It's a code and it's a broken hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
Hey folks, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, like this video, and comment down below.